naira in Abuja. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump says America is back and open for business. Good evening, this is News at 7 on West Spring Television. My name is Tomilola Daniel. We begin in the court as the appellate court sitting in Akure has upheld the death sentence of a prominent businessman and hotelier, Ramon Adedoyin, for his involvement in the murder of one Timothy Adegoke, a former postgraduate student of the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Delivering the judgment this afternoon, the court affirmed the earlier verdict of the Osun State High Court, which had sentenced Adedoyin to death. The court, however, set aside some respect of the lower court's orders, including the forfeiture of the Hilton Hotel and the order for Adedoyin to pay for the education of Adegoke's children. Furthermore, the court ruled that it had no jurisdiction to impose penalties outside the statutory provisions. Adegoke's death was reported in November 2021 after his corpse was found at the Hilton Honor Hotel in Ile-Ife, Osun State, where he had lodged. He had checked into the hotel but was reported missing after 2 days. However, Adegoke's body was found days later, leading to probe that linked to his death to Adedoyin and others. In May 2023, Adedoyin and others were sentenced to death after they were found guilty of murder and conspiracy to murder.
Court quashed certain aspects of the decision of the trial court, especially the decision that relates to the order of the trial court mandating the respondent, the convicts, to be responsible for the education of the children of the deceased Timothy Adegoke. The court, in its judgment today, held that for convictions, the jurisdiction of the court is limited to the statutory provisions as to the penalty provided by the law. So the statutory provision is either the trial court complies with the maximum penalty or the minimum. So anything outside the two, the court will not have jurisdiction to so do. So on that basis, the conviction of the appellant, Dr. Ramon Adedoyin, that he will be responsible for the education of the deceased, forfeiture of his property to the state government, have been quashed by the Court of Appeal.
In the meantime, the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja adjourned till February 19th defamation suit filed by human rights lawyer Femi Falana and his son Folari, popularly known as Fowls, against Martins Otse, also known as Very Dark Man, VDM. Justice Matthias Dawodu fixed the date today to hear a preliminary objection filed by VDM's lawyer Marvin Omorugbe, challenging the competence of the suit filed by the Falanas and the court's jurisdiction to hear the case. Though the Falanas and Very Dark Men were absent in court, they were represented by their lawyers. Counsel to Very Dark Man Omorugbe told the court at the resumption of proceedings that he had been served with a copy of the counter affidavit filed by the plaintiffs, the Falanas, against his preliminary objection, and he needed time to respond to same. The lawyer told the Falanas, Omotade Omotubosu, did not object to the application for adjournment. The Falanas had dragged Very Dark Man before the court, demanding 500 million naira each as damages over a video he posted on his social media platforms, alleging that they collected 10 million naira from Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bob Risky, to pervert the costs of justice. Turning into politics, embattled former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello and his successor Usman Ododo visited the Abuja residence of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike today. The meeting between the three politicians who belong to different parties was set tongues, wagging online since photos of the visit were shared on social media. While Wike is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Ododo and Bello members of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Though the purpose of the visit was not made known as a press time, it was the first time the former Kogi governor would be seen with the FCT minister since his ordeal began about 1 year ago. Mr. Bello is facing money laundering and fraud charges before two separate courts in the nation's capital. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. In Rivers State, some members of the National Working Committee (NWC) of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have expressed support for the recent court ruling that nullified the party's congresses in the state. The NWC members made their position known during a visit to Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the Rivers State Government House in Port Harcourt, where they held a closed-door meeting. The delegation included the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba. Speaking after the meeting, the National Treasurer, Ahmed Mohammed, reaffirmed Governor Fubara's status as a party leader in the state. He described their visit as part of an effort to realign the party and strategize for a comeback in the 2027 elections, when stating their commitment to fostering unity, stability, and effective repositioning in the state. The visit comes just days after PDP youth leaders from across the country met with the Governor Fubara in a bid to resolve internal party crisis with a focus on the feminist leadership in the state.
The NWC visited the leader of the PDP in Rivers State and the Deputy Chairman PDP Governors Forum in the person of Sir Siminalayi Fubara, the Governor of Rivers State. This visit is part of the consultative meeting that the NWC is making to its leaders of the party, governors elected on the platform of the party, to rub minds together and to look at the possibility of how PDP is going to be repositioned. So the Governor of Rivers State, if you could recall, recently there was a court ruling that gave the leadership, that dissolved the congresses that were held in recent past, and other leaders of the party were appointed from ward local government to the state level. We came to appreciate the doggedness of the governor in ensuring that PDP is becoming more stabilized in Rivers State and becoming more focused. Before this visit, we had earlier visited the governor of Bauchi State, the governor of Oyo State, and the governor of Bayelsa State. The essence of this visit is to assure Nigerians that PDP is coming together and PDP is set in trying to see that come May 2027, PDP takes over governance in Nigeria, not only at the federal level, but PDP captures.
To security matters, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has lauded officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces as the nation's heroes, while pledging his administration's unwavering commitment to their welfare. Speaking this afternoon during the commissioning of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Barracks and other newly constructed facilities under the Nigerian Army Special Project in Abuja, the President expressed profound gratitude for their service. President Tinubu emphasized the significance of the military's contributions to the nation, reiterating his administration's resolve to support the troops. Highlighting the importance of the new facilities, the President noted that the project aligns with his government's commitment to enhancing the welfare of military personnel. He further assured the troops that their welfare would remain a priority, stating that the government will not compromise on it. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu Barracks is equipped to address the acute shortage of accommodation for personnel of the Army headquarters and other Army establishments in Abuja.
The glory of God Almighty, the welfare of men and women in I was commissioned by His Excellency Bola Ahmed DCM, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. On today, the 3rd January of
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has urged the 10,000 newly passed out constables of the Nigeria Police Force to prioritize professionalism, fairness, and friendliness in the discharge of their duties. The police chief delivered this message at the passing out parade of the 2022 batch held at the Police Training School, Bauchi, on Thursday. Represented by the Bauchi State Commissioner of Police, Awal Mohammed, the IGP stated that the exercise marks the culmination of a 6-month rigorous training program that has pushed the recruits to their physical and intellectual limit. The IGP highlighted that the recruits have been equipped with the necessary orientation and skills to tackle Nigeria's complex security challenges while adhering to legal and ethical principles. The police boss also acknowledged President Bola Tinubu's approval of the annual recruitment of 30,000 police constables over the coming years, noting that the move would strengthen internal security, improve police performance, and ensure optimal service delivery nationwide. Still with security matters, operatives of the Nigeria Police Force have rescued Folashade Odumosu, the wife of former Assistant Inspector General of Police Hakeem Odumosu. The victim regained her freedom on Wednesday. It was gathered that the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Larry Ogunlowo, led the operation that saw the rescue of the retired AIG's wife. A force spokesman, Muyiwa Adejobi, who confirmed this to newsmen today, said during the operation, the kidnappers were neutralized. ACP Adejobi said the operatives equally recovered the ransom paid to the kidnappers as bait. He, however, refused to disclose the amount paid to the kidnappers or where exactly the victims were rescued. The force spokesman further reiterated the commitment of the Nigeria Police to safeguard Nigerians and the nation. The retired AIG's wife, Folashade Odumosu, was abducted last Thursday at the entrance of a residence in Aripo, Owode local government area of Ogun State. In Benue State, suspected gunmen have killed 6 persons in Uza village, Tombo Ward, Gambetive local government area of the state. The tragic incident occurred on Wednesday night around 8 p.m. as residents were settling down in their respective compounds. Uza village, situated on the Ayilamo-Se-Abise-Ikyo Tuluyen Truck Federal Highway, is merely a 4-minute drive from Ayilamo town, which has faced sustained gunmen attacks for over 20 years. Eyewitnesses who narrowly escaped from the attackers told newsmen that the gunmen attacked the village as villagers were settling down in front of the compound. 6 dead bodies were found, and a woman and a child who sustained serious injuries later succumbed to their wounds. At PHC Ayilamo, a community leader, Chief Tuyodu Abo, appealed to the federal and state government to provide security for farmers to return to the farmlands. The local divisional police officer confirmed the incident and stated that an investigation had commenced. Here in Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke said various developmental initiatives implemented by his administration have reduced the state infrastructure deficit by over 40%. Governor Adeleke made this known in Osogbo, the state capital, today, while receiving an official invitation to an annual event organized by Leadership newspaper, where he will be honored as the Governor of the Year. The governor noted that while the achievements of his administration are worthy of celebration, he is determined not to let the accolades slow down his pace of work. It is close that he was driven to do more because Osun has been left behind on many fronts, noting that he aims to reduce the deficit further. Commending the newspaper for the recognition, the governor described the award as an endorsement of his performance. Moving on, Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has endorsed recently announced 50% hike in telecommunications tariffs, urging telecom companies to enhance their service quality in line with the price increase. The tariff adjustment, the first in over a decade, was announced by the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) on Monday as part of efforts to revive the telecom sector. The decision has sparked widespread debate and mixed reactions across the country. Speaking today on the sidelines of the ongoing 2025 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Mr. Edun described the hike as a necessary step to sustain the telecom industry amid rising inflation and operational costs. The minister emphasized the importance of the sector to Nigeria's economic growth and infrastructure development. Mr. Edun further assured Nigerians that the government is committed to ensuring the tariff increase benefits consumers.
Well, I think I agree with you that there is a need to reflect the fact that over a 12-year period, there has been a rise in costs, there has been inflation, and that needs to be reflected, of course, in the business computations for the telcos, which are, of course, they have a regulated, to an extent, their pricing is regulated. They're not just free to give any tariff that they want. So the cost of living that increase that has occurred has to be reflected. But I think 50% is a start. And it's all about compromise, and it's all about the timing and sequencing of some of these changes, necessary as they are. And in this particular case, we want the telcos, who are a very, very critical aspect of the Nigerian economy, of the infrastructure offering that is part of the business environment in Nigeria. We want them operating efficiently. We want them terminating calls efficiently. We don't want dropped calls. We want good quality services from them. And at the same time, we want them growing, employing people, and basically adding to the GDP of the country. And that's why this 50% increase has come through. And I believe that is a situation that we will be looked at on a forward-looking basis. As we go forward, there will continue to be review, consultation, and
in another development, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed fake, expired, and substandard goods worth 1.3 billion naira in Abuja. The NAFDAC Director General, Professor Moji Adeyeye,